What's up, everybody? All right, welcome to week number 3 of Marketing with Anik. We got a great topic today, and we might keep today a little bit shorter just because there's an event going on here too. By the way, if you're not part of our Learn Masters program, may I blatantly pitch, you need to be. It's an awesome program, and we've got it running right now in the other room, so I'm balancing lots of balls in the air at the same time. And that's also why we couldn't do Friday, because Friday is the day that I'm pretty much on stage all day with them, so we had to move it up to Tuesday. Got lots of Onyx in my head. All right, I'm talking to that one? Wow, that's nice. All right, so I never know where I'm talking. So today we're going to talk about a really cool topic, but luckily, because we've been spending so much time talking about the psychology and everything of funnels and creating all of that, I think we'll be able to blaze through today a little bit faster. But we're going to keep the theme going of campaign specialist. So, you know, not just being a copywriter, not just being a funnel hacker, but being what I call a campaign specialist. That's going to become my next thing that, you know, I want to build as many campaign specialists in the world. Campaign specialists are going to be people who can build a launch plan. I mean, from the copy to the page structures to the direct design behind it to the strategy of the emails to, you know, whether it should be VSL driven, webinar driven, whether there should be 3 webinars or 2, whether you should do a replay or an encore, whether you should do a payment plan or not, like the whole strategy behind an external launch, as I call that. That's a launch that you basically promote to, you know, you allow other people to promote, you promote on Facebook, you promote outside of your community. And then I also want campaign specialists to be people who are experts at internal launches, which is how do you drive, you know, how do you plan a launch that's meant to be just for your community, not necessarily outside. We do both at Learn. And as you know, we released a program called $1 Million Funnels, where I reveal the 7 funnels that we use for outside launches. I'm going to be, one of these days, I'm not going to say soon, but one of these days I'll also be releasing a playbook that is for the internal launches, that literally maps out how we do all of our internal launches. So today I want to attach to it another leg to becoming a campaign specialist. This would be like the PhD level of campaign specialization, and that would be back-end monetization. Right? So imagine that you are a campaign specialist and you're out there selling your services, and you go to a client and you don't just help the client get a good launch or a good release or good conversions or a good funnel, but then you also help them and you tell them, here's how we're going to take what you earn in that first week of a consumer coming into your business, and we're going to triple it, quadruple it, or make it 5x in the next 30 days after that. You start to do that and your client is actually going to become addicted to you. So we're going to talk about campaign specialization, what happens after the main launch, after the main lead comes in. So really today's topic is how to take a free lead, all right, or a dollar lead, but really how to take a free lead and turn them into as much as $15 in transactions before, let's say, even 30 or maybe max 60 days is up of that lead having been in your business. So let's talk about what does it take in order to be able to do this. So there's one thing I've been doing the most of in my career, and that is monetizing free leads or monetizing low-ticket leads. I've made more money than arguably most people in our space doing this. And I started 15 years ago. My entire business, the first time I saw the power of what a free lead can do was when I had a membership community that we used to charge $30 a month for, and I was sending people straight to a sales page where they could buy that, and it was doing decent. I mean, it was doing well. And then someone recommended that I should throw an opt-in page in front of it and make people opt in and then take them to the sales page and then email them for 10, 15 days telling them about the benefits of that membership. And my results went up by some 300%. That's when I immediately became a fan of the whole notion of email marketing and, of course, opt-in pages, which I've been teaching and talking about ever since then. But as I've gone on to do lots of things with either free leads or very low-ticket leads, there's one thing that I have found out, discovered, and determined, and that is that in order to work with free lead, in order to really monetize and dominate in the free lead business, the more opportunities you have to monetize the free lead artistically and strategically. So it's not like someone comes into your business and you're like, bam, 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 here are offers. That's not going to work. That goes backwards. But if you lay out the right journey, it's another very important word that we talk a lot about, is the journey of the person. If you lay out the appropriate journey, you will get to a place where the more opportunities they have to purchase from you and the more ways that they have to purchase from you. Meaning, listen, some people like to talk on the phone and be sold. Some people like to watch a webinar. They like to sit back and watch a presentation. Some people just want to watch a video at the convenience of their own times. They don't want you to dictate that, hey, be here at 2 p.m. on a certain day. They just give me the replay and trust me to watch it. Some people don't even need any of that. They'll just read a page. For example, if you're very warm to someone, if you're a warm audience, you're just not going to waste your time. I recently bought a program from Todd Brown where he revealed Agora's entire ad buying strategy. And I was traveling during that time. He sent out one email, and in that email he outlined what the program was. I didn't even go through the pre-launch. I hadn't even seen the sales page because the product wasn't releasing for another week. All I knew was that the date and time he said the product is releasing, I would not be around. And so I actually sent him a message on Facebook saying, can you save me a seat and can I pay? What is it? So notice, I didn't even need a sales page. I didn't need a pitch. I didn't even know how much it was. I messaged him saying, can I pay? Because the core of the product was so strong and the community that Todd, I'm in his community, I trust Todd and his work. So sometimes you don't even need a sales page to be able to sell. So the more opportunities you give to this new lead to purchase something from you, the more you'll make. So let me put all this into actual, let me show you an actual example by drawing it out, and I think then it'll make much more sense. All right, so what I'm going to do here is let's just go through, whoa, it's backwards. Sec here. All right, so let's go through what happens typically in an opt-in funnel or an opt-in page, right? So you have traffic coming in from any part, anywhere, and we send them to an opt-in page, and they become a lead. Now, they don't always have to go to an opt-in page. They can also go to a sales page that sells a low ticket, right, or whatever. Actually, heck, they could go to any page that sells a product of any price. The point is, there's an entry point into your business. A lot of companies will take this and they may add a little bit back here because there's such a craze about funnel. So luckily, at least people now are aware about things like upsells and downsells and the importance of them, especially with rising costs of Facebook ads. Everyone understands that they need them, that they have to do them. But no one talks about back end. And I think that if anyone were to ask what's led me to be able to scale a company, what's leading Learn to do so well, and why we can continue to do so well with Facebook ads and Google ads, even though the cost of ads have definitely gone up by almost 2x, it's actually not in the funnel, believe it or not. It has nothing to do with the funnel. The funnel is important, but we make most of our money in the back end. So this is what something will look like for us. All right, so let's take a free opt-in, right? Free opt-in will then go to a page. So we're building a funnel right now that I just asked and put it out there. It's going to go to an email series that kicks off. That's a 7-day course, and it's going to sell a product that eventually, I think initially it'll be $297, but eventually is going to be $497. Now, I actually saw a case study from someone who had posted the results. He's an agency, David Schloss. So shout out to David for putting this up on his Facebook page, where he put one of his clients' funnels up. It was exactly this. It was right here. They send traffic to an opt-in page, goes to a 7-day email series, goes to a $497 offer that's sold through a video. It's a VSL. There's no webinar, nothing, and they were making 100% ROI. They were doing really well. So for every dollar put in, they were making $2 back. So I immediately messaged Dave and I said, hey, what's the bump offer to this? And he said he has none. What's the upsell offer to this? He has none. What's the downsell offer to this? He has none. What's the back end? He has none. My jaw just dropped. And I said, do you realize that his 100% ROI could probably be 300 or maybe 400% if he had those things, if your client had these things? And he said, I realize it. My client does not. Doesn't do any of that. So here's what my funnel would look like. I would have here a bump offer. Now, if you purchased, which you all did, Marketing with Anik, you saw a bump offer. It's a little box that sits on the cart page that offers you the opportunity at $47, $57, $67 to add something cool. So what we had offered for the Marketing with Anik funnel was we offered the recordings of 3XE. And 3xe was an event. People had to travel to Orlando. It was $400 or $500 for the tickets. Then you had to pay for a hotel. You had to pay for flights. So it's easily a $2,000 investment for anyone that shows up. Now we're giving that away. I think it was for 67 bucks. And what we were able to do, what we were able to do on that is get a 15% conversion. Now, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know, and I don't care. It's 15%. It's money that otherwise would not have come in. So A, I got an opportunity to offer a great product, a great event that I love to my students that will get value from it. Plus, I got an opportunity to add more revenue simply by putting a little box, not even a video, not even a pitch, nothing, just a little box on an order page, and it bumps up the amount of money I make from that funnel. But we don't stop there. After that, you absolutely should have an upsell offer. Now, the upsell offer could be priced at whatever. In this scenario, if it was a $497 product, my upsell will probably be right around $297 or so. And in this funnel that we're currently building, that is exactly what the upsell is going to be. Now, what could we expect here? 7 to 10%. It really depends on the offer. You could see higher, you could see lower, but 7 to 10% is a good range, assuming you nail the psychology, you nail what that consumer's thinking, and you really fit the offer to them. Now, yes, this requires a video and requires some selling. And then if they don't buy that, you show them a downsell. Right? Now, because of the fact that my customer came in spending $497, I typically don't do 2 upsells. A lot of people will show their funnel with 2 upsells, but I have a very specific reason why I don't do 2 upsells. The reason I don't like to do 2 upsells is because I have a strong back end. I want to save the, basically, if you go through 2 upsells, it can be a little annoying, and it usually goes to my best customers. So think of it this way. If I put a second upsell, I'm giving it to someone who bought $497, probably bought the upsell one, so they're my hottest buyers. It means they're on a buying track. So what I want to do with them is save them just for a week or 2, and then come out and sell them something even more expensive. So I'll forego. So if you don't have that, you can add upsell 2. But I will personally forego upsell 2 because of what's going to happen in my back end. So inside the back end, in this company right now, we've simplified it. We like to have 2 major things. We've kind of added a third one now, which is slowly picking up the contribution that it does to the revenue. But number 1 is we try our best to have a webinar series, or let's just put it this way, some high ticket. Anything we can that makes sense that can be $997 or more. Now let me make something clear. The fact that this person came in at $497 doesn't matter. If this person had come in at $7, it would impact the price of the upsell, but it would not impact anything happening on the back end. All right, the back end is pretty much the same. The other thing I'm going to have is my super ticket. So I look for sales team leads. All right, so that our team can get leads and qualify people to see if they fit any of our coaching programs or consulting programs. And then third, this is kind of unique to us, is that we understand we're getting Learn Nation members, which carries with it a long-term value because they buy other programs and other courses inside of our platform. But right here, the only thing I will say I add sometimes, it's not an upsell, it's a free offer to talk to our advisors, so it helps us get leads. We do add that. And now I want you to think, whereas the other person I was speaking about was working with this. They only had that. So when it comes to advertising, how this carries over into advertising, when it comes into advertising, they have just this monetization going on. So they have to pay if they want to. So first of all, their rule is, I want to make money here. I don't want to just break even. What's the point of that? I got nothing else that I'm going to make money on later. I need to make money from this. So that handicaps the ad campaign right from the get-go. On top of that, that controls the amount that they can spend. So they end up doing this. They end up having to go after a very targeted audience that's going to be interested. And every time they try to scale, their conversions will drop or their click costs will go up, and they will no longer be profitable here. But think of it this way. They add the bump offer, all of a sudden they're making a little bit more money. That circle could get a little bit bigger. They add an upsell, they're making a little bit more money. That circle can get bigger. They add a downsell, it can get a little bit bigger. And then you do this, and it just blows it up. So for us, whenever we run funnels, the reason we scale so rapidly is whatever is in the front end here. Whatever is in the front end here, if it's a $497, my message to the team is, if you break even, I'm happy. Actually, I can be so daring as to say, forget all, right, move the blue line here. If you can break even at cart, I'm happy. You paid for my ads, you got me a free person into Learn Nation, you got people to register for my webinar, and you got people for my advisory team to call and speak to about our, because these are all usually pretty high margin revenue. Because the acquisition cost is covered. I'm happy that this is why companies like Agora and the biggest companies are more daring than even Learn. Agora is willing to go 6 months before break even. This is why you can't compete with them. The amount that they'll outspend you on advertising every single time. I'll take my water real quick. Sorry. They'll outspend you on advertising every single time because of their ability to wait. They have so many things in the back end that they don't mind spending more. At Learn, we're still working on a more 30-day, we want to break even 30, 45, but I know that what I'm trying to work up to is that Learn will be at a point where we can do 90 days to break even, and that's full-blown domination because nobody in our space that we compete with is even close to being willing to bleed cash for 90 days. But as soon as we start to do that, that's when you're going to see Learn Nation blowing up. That's when you're going to see everything just scaling to massive lengths. Actually, I shouldn't say nobody. There's a couple people in our industry, and I won't take their names just to not reveal their business models. But there are a couple people that are happy to do it, and you know what? They're scaling like nuts right now because of it. So the magic, so how do we take a free lead to being worth almost $15 in a short time? It's by building more and more of these. When you hear funnel, most people are talking about this. A campaign specialist hears word funnel and thinks about all of this, right? And also thinks, okay, this is a $497 up front. What if it was a webinar offer, right? Okay, so what was a high ticket up front? Well, they register for the webinar, they go through a few days of emails, they attend the webinar, hopefully they buy. If they don't, they go off to a series of emails for 30 days that try to get the person to either attend the webinar replay or buy other products. And then once they get into the next phase, they go through these, and then they get, so it's almost like 3 phases, right? It's the courting phase, it's the initiating the relationship, it's I call it the break-even phase. In our company, at least, this is where we make sure we revenue monetize to a level that the ad costs are mostly paid for, and this is the profit phase. So you got your initiation, you got your break-even, and you got your profit phase. And this is the proper psychology of a very advanced funnel. And this is what companies this is what companies do to scale. This is actually how companies will scale. And really, I wanted to turn it more to you guys for questions because, believe it or not, that's it. I mean, this would be someone who can master creating these entire master plans is going to be the most brilliant campaign specialist out there because, well, you've got every leg of the monetization down. Now, this can also get really intense. There's other things back here, by the way. Once you get in, so if you get into our master's program, or if our platinum program, there are other programs we have. We have mastermind programs then. We're coming up with other programs. There's consulting things that you can do. So the leg continues here. High ticket webinar, we don't just have one, we have multiple products. So this could be 1, 2, 3. So again, notice when I go back to number of opportunities to monetize, right? Let's just walk this funnel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 things in the journey that monetize somebody. Nothing that's obnoxious, nothing that's disruptive. It's all helping the customer in the end. So this is a great funnel because it has 7 different ways to monetize someone. And this would be, this can all happen in the span of 30, 40 days tops. But what's stopping us from going 60 days? What's stopping us from building channels that are 90 days? So that we don't just present a new lead that comes in with 7, but with 14 opportunities. As long as the messaging we're sending is good, as long as we're retaining the readership, as long as they're still opening and they're still clicking, they're going to make more. Yeah?
How do you know it's the right time to start offering them back-end deals?
All right, that's a great question. So the question was, how do you know it's the right time to start offering them the back-end deals? So first, it's less time-driven and more makes sense-driven. So I'll give you a prime example. Let's do a hypothetical example. $497 is $1 million funnels. Someone comes in, they purchase a product called $1 million funnels. That tells us a lot about this customer. They already understand what the word funnel is. They want some more advanced stuff. Okay, you bump them into 3xe. They would probably be interested in that. Anyone who's buying funnels would be interested in traffic. Then the upsell one, you bump them into Marketing with Anik, an annual program, 1-year membership to Marketing with Anik. And so that's great. And then all of a sudden you turn around here, right, where I'm saying here you have 2 options. One is you say, hey, thanks for enrolling. I would love, how would you like to come to a webinar where we teach you how to do email marketing? We got that scenario. Or we have a scenario that says, hey, how would you like a free call with a funnel specialist to help you figure out which of the 7 funnels you just bought is the right fit for your business? Now, the second one I just told you, you can hit them up right away because it's congruent. It makes sense. So there's no reason to hold it back. They're obviously, actually you should hit them sooner than later because they just put $500 down. They put 500 votes towards their level of interest in the word funnel right now. But the email one, it's a little weird. It doesn't really fit the journey. So if you still want to really push that offer, maybe you should wait a week or 2. And the reason you should wait a week or 2 is so that it makes sense. You make it make sense. The way you make it make sense is once this is finished, they are now a customer. They're going to kick into some customer campaigns, right? That kicks off right here. As soon as they bought this, we usually send off, we kick off a auto responder, a workflow of emails, just to kind of welcome them into the course, into the program. Well, in that program, the first day, maybe you just welcome them. Second day, you again tell them all the different benefits of what they got. And day 3, you start to say something to the degree of a story, the #1 thing that's helped me make $200 million in sales, right? And you introduce the concept of email. The second day, you talk about how emails are directly related to funnels. The third day, you talk about how emails drive more high-quality traffic than anything else out there. The fourth, and then all of a sudden by day 6 or 7, guess what? It makes sense to offer them the opportunity to join you on a webinar about email marketing. So I'm less time-driven, that I'm more make sense-driven, but typically this is all happening at cart, right? Up until this process. Usually what I'll do is we usually will go with this first, getting our advisory team on the phone, because the thing I've noticed is when someone invests money with you, they're paying attention. That's the best time to get in front of them. You give, in this world, the internet world, you give them even a week, and they're off to the races. They're talking to someone else. They're learning from someone else. They're doing something completely different. So I will try to get them into our advisory process ASAP. So the thank you email that goes out for this course may very well say, hey, by the way, just because you did purchase and you're a customer now, you have an opportunity to talk to one of our advisors if you'd like to explore other opportunities we have at Learn. I would put that out right in front of them, and I'd probably spend a few days really doing that. Then I will spend about a week trying to warm them up, content them, and pivot them if I need to pivot for the next offer. And then I will spend, so I'll do this, and once they get into this funnel, my high-ticket webinar funnels are usually going to be a week or 2 weeks anyways. So if they go off in that journey, then we're three weeks in already, and they're on the journey of this. But if they say no to the high-ticket webinar, they never register for it, they'll start getting emails about different programs in Learn Nation just over time. So that's why I used to be very 2-week driven. Everything we did, I'd try to make sure 2 weeks are mapped out. As of just the last few weeks, I've put my foot down. I'm trying to be very 30-day driven. So the new DBC funnel that we created, the one that's going to promote Inbox Blueprint, I've done 30 days worth of emails. Whether you opt in for the webinar, or opt in for the course, whatever. It's 30 days worth of emails are going to come to you, giving you multiple opportunities to go down multiple different journeys inside of LearnNation. So what I've drawn here can very, very, very effectively and very efficiently be done in 30 days or less. Questions?
From the online version?
Yeah, does anyone here have a question?
Do you, this may be a dumb question, but do you make them like check out between each like bump and upsell?
That's not a dumb question at all. So the question was, do we make them check out after each of these? It's a superb question, actually. So there's a thing called one-click upsell that a lot of technologies will deploy, which allow you to basically, because you got the credit card here, right? So it allows, or here, you got the credit card here. It allows this thing to just say one click and they agree to it. We do not do it anymore. It creates a lot of confusion. And people don't realize that they click it and it creates chargeback problems. Does it make conversions go up? Of course. But as kind of our motto that we've got going on at Learn of like, you know, serve, not sell, we just make them check out again. So when they click buy now, they go to another card page. Yes.
So I was wondering, like, if it all added up and you didn't have them check out, I was wondering if that would like scare people away and never buy anything in.
Yeah, no, it's individual units. Yes.
Just to confirm what you just said right there, once they check out, we'd like kind of redirect them back into the funnel?
Once they, yeah, depending on what they bought, the systems, the technology will know where they're supposed to go next. Yeah. And there's always like, there's a no thank you here, right? If you don't want it, there's a link you can click to say no thank you, and then it takes you to the next step of the funnel.
Cool.
Yep. You want to take some online?
Yeah, just a couple people are actually interested in knowing how this would pertain to e-commerce.
That's a superb question. So how would this pertain to e-commerce? Okay, so in e-commerce, there's a lot of talk lately about funnels, actually, more than ever before. And some of the people that are making the most money with e-commerce are doing it through funnels. And what they like to do is, and I never believed this would work, but I have physical evidence I was proven wrong. It works really well. So instead of, this is the first thing, people are deploying funnels in e-commerce, instead of taking them straight to what we call a product page, which is your typical image, little description, buy button, what they're doing is taking to a sales page. So they're creating a small mock-up of that low-ticket page. It really depends on what you're selling. Listen, if you're selling a cell phone cover, you're not going to be able to create, it's really, really hard to create a proper funnel off of that. But the example I saw, they were selling gun oil for guns. And that's a very specific product, and they were giving it away for free, plus shipping and handling. So they actually created a really cool sales page where they show it, and they show it using it, they show the ingredients, and talk about why it's awesome and why it's the best. And the very next page on the bump, they offered like a kit, like a cleaning kit, right? And it worked really well. It was a picture of it, and it said save 73% off right now, you know, add for 20 bucks or whatever. And they did really well. And then here's the crazy part with e-com that blew my mind, that on the upsell, their upsell was add 2 more of the original product for $20. Because remember one thing in e-com, if the oils are like this big, they're like this big, they're really small. So shipping 1 versus shipping 3 in a bag, your shipping cost goes up by very little. But they added like another $20 to the cart. So your margins go through the roof through that. And so the numbers are much smaller, right? Okay, look, with e-com, depending on what you're doing e-com for, you're not going to do high ticket and super ticket on LearnNation. So what do you replace that with? Well, again, with e-com, you may not have this, but what you have at your disposal is the ability to have lots of products. Every product is a possible purchase opportunity. So you want to build a funnel where if someone just bought gun oil and then bought a gun cleaning kit and then bought more gun oil, what have they told you about themselves? They own a gun, and they like their gun, and they want to clean the gun. What else can you sell them? What other things should your store have that you could create an email sequence? Very rarely do I meet e-com people that have an email sequence for purchasers tagged to a product. It's very rare. I think of all the e-com people, I'm surrounded by e-com people, I've maybe met 2. Huh. You're missing out on a massive opportunity, a huge opportunity. Imagine if you had 15 products. Now listen, your products don't have to just be about guns. Do your research. Talk to a gun owner. Talk to a few gun owners. What else? I'm assuming that person who made that store probably is a gun owner and loves guns. So what else? What other kinds of things do they buy? Right? Doesn't even have to have anything to do with guns. But what other things does that demographic, that avatar buy? Sell those on your store, right? You can sell print on demand, t-shirts and hats and things that a gun owner would probably want to wear.
Tent or something.
What's that?
Like a tent.
Like a tent. Sure.
You might go hunting in a tent.
Joe said a tent.
Bulletproof vest.
Just,
No, a vest.
yeah.
Orange clothes.
All right. Joe, apparently. Orange clothes?
They wear
Oh,
they wear
for-
orange when they go hunting, you know,
Okay.
so you don't get shot. So it's
That's actually, so I know nothing about gun owners or guns at all. So, but yeah, anything that a gun owner would buy. So imagine that as an email that comes out 3 days after they bought. How to make sure you don't get shot. I mean, that would certainly get me open an email. And so it's just one example because you have a lot of products. Now I have to sell a $9.97 product, I said, I have to invest about 2 weeks worth of emails. There will be the upfront emails, the follow-up emails, the warm-up emails, the close-up emails. But when you have to sell a product that's $20, you can invest like 2 emails, 3 emails. So if you have 15 products, you could have a 45 to 60-day sequencing of emails, and now you've just created 15 opportunities to monetize this person. Nobody, no competitor of yours is going to be able to hold anything up against you. You will outbid them on everything. Because again, you will be daring enough to say, I don't need to break even at the first product. I don't need to break even at the second product. I don't even need to break even at the upsell. I mean, well, I need to break even at the upsell, hopefully, so that I'm immediately break even. Facebook ad costs are covered within the minute the transaction happens. And then I got 45 days of making profit. Not to mention all the other things. As you add more products in the store in the future, as you do sales, we know with e-com sales are huge. As you know, there's so many things you can do. But if you build an e-com store and you focus on building up your list and focus on building up your customer base, I'm about to do this right now in an e-com store that we just launched, and it eventually sells really expensive products. And it's hard to sell those directly off of Facebook ads when you don't have a brand, you don't have customers, you don't have anything. So we specifically came up with very inexpensive little things that we believe if we sold would drive the right kind of consumer who would want to buy the expensive things eventually. So instead of having just that, we are now creating a multitude of things we can sell that are low ticket to build that relationship up. So we're applying the same psychology in e-com, and I'm doing it right now. Let's see how it does. It'll still be a few weeks before we know, but I can't see it not working. So.
Yeah, so just to follow up on just how this pertains to different business models, we have Annette who's just coaching consulting, and so basically her whole product is one-on-one, so she wants to know how she can actually do anything else besides she wouldn't really have a super ticket or a high back end because everything she offers is one-on-one.
Okay, so Annette is actually she's a coach or consultant. So she wants to know how this pertains to her because she actually, she's right here. She jumps forward. She goes, bam, over here. So she's like, I'm already at the peak I'm already at the top of it. I don't have anything else to sell. And that is a false narrative. So she has a lot more to sell. Annette, you've got, here, work backwards. Annette, are you telling me that every person you talk to in your business is ready to pay you your fees for your coaching? I bet you not. I bet you there's a lot of people out there who would pay you your fees, but they would like to get to know you better. So why don't you write a book, a simple book, and create a low-ticket funnel to warm people up so that you can sell them more people into your coaching? Why don't you create a mastermind? So when someone finishes your coaching program, you invite them to your $20,000 a year mastermind where you fly to Dominican Republic 3 times a year and meet with people and work with them in person and charge for that. You can have a webinar. Maybe people can't afford your one-on-one time, but maybe they can do group coaching with you. So you do group coaching, 20 people at a time. You do 8-week-long programs, 20 people in a webinar room, which means they still get personal attention, just not as much as one-on-one, but they have to pay only, they can pay a fifth of what you charge for your coaching. So you guys, you have to get creative, but that's I think I just gave you about 5, 6 ideas right there so that you have other opportunities and you can sprinkle other things into. And it also depends on what kind of coaching you're doing, because what kind of coaching you do could lead to a lot of other opportunities too. If you're in the business coaching side, I mean, there could be a done-for-you services, right? Like you could coach someone, like, for example, with traffic. If I'm coaching someone on how to generate traffic, my upsell could be my agency, which will do it for them. And so there's a lot of opportunities, but you don't, if you work, like if you go from here to here, there's no reason you can't go here and here. You can create any mix you want. It's just a matter of having that mix. Matter of thinking, how many different opportunities do I have for my customer to make a transaction with me? Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So same idea. We have Jeff, who's an Amazon affiliate and is unsure of how this would actually work for Amazon.
Amazon affiliate, Jeff. Right. So when you start to get into being an affiliate, it's a little bit trickier, and it's also simpler. When you're an affiliate, Jeff, you just longer series, more products. Someone get an opt-in first of all. That's always awesome. It could drop your conversion initially for an Amazon affiliate. So test it, because I'm not an Amazon affiliate and I've never been one. My guess is you have a website that's SEO'd, you're driving a ton of traffic through a product review type of site, and then you're selling products that are one-offs, right? And that's just what it is. Amazon's cookie expires very quickly, so they're not gonna pay you on the deep. But what you could do is throw in an opt-in page, throw in an opt-in box, start collecting leads slowly, put up a sequencing of messages that goes for 30, 45, 60 days, basically endorsing and recommending and giving reviews of your top products in your store. I'd have to, like, is your store niche specific, or is your website niche specific, or are you just a general place? Because that'll make a big difference. If you're very generic and general, then you can't really do the opt-in strategy unless you created multiple sequences for different topics and different types of things.
Sorry, Jeff did say he's in the sports.
Sports? So there you go. As long as you put together a opt-in page or a process that drives a large, that just drives you leads, and then you can set up a 30 to 45 to 60 to 90 to 100-day sequencing of messages recommending and sending them links to buy. It's, again, you don't have to do this because I drew this. If I tried to draw every scenario, we'd be here for the next week. So I want you guys to not think, don't get locked up in this. I did this as an example, but the higher level point I want you to get locked into is more opportunity to monetize the lead. And that's always going to change and evolve based on your business and what you're doing.
Yes. So Nikki's asking, how often do you recommend presenting new campaigns to the back end?
Nikki's asking, how often do I recommend presenting new campaigns to the back end? Nikki, that's a very similar question to what Timmy had asked. So it's not time specific, it's makes sense specific. So it's price specific too, right? If they bought and my back end product is $7, I send 2-3 emails about it, and I can pivot after that and send for another product that's $2-3. If the product is $1,000, I have to devote a couple weeks of emails. But as a general nature, I like to go like this. I always say emails are like this. So content pitch, content pitch, content pitch, content pitch, content pitch, content pitch. So, you want to kind of interweave and out. Now, how much content do you have to give someone? Depends on how expensive the next thing you're going to ask them to buy is. So if I'm going to ask them to buy something that's $1,000, I want to give them a few days of good content, maybe even a couple more, so I can set the stage appropriately. Remember, copywriting is more about the environment and less about the words nowadays. So I want to set the stage appropriately. If the product I'm going to eventually ask them to buy is $7, I don't think I really need to do much. Maybe one email at max, if even that, to set the stage, and then just ask for the sale. It's an impulse purchase. So it's driven by topic, it's driven by price, and it's driven by what you've been doing with the lead. So if you just got off of a huge promotion, you'll see this at Learn all the time. We come off of a massive promotion, right, where we beat the out of the list. We were mailing, and we launched a product that was awesome. You will always see us either go silent for a few days and then do content, or we'll go straight to content, but we will try to then do good by the list as well. So, and that's a relationship that seems to work well. Consumers allow a company to do that.
So, specific question about the funnel. Is it actually possible, Stuart's actually asking, our Stuart, if it's possible to do a dynamic funnel. So he's wondering if it's at the bump position, could we actually, since Marketing with Anik is a general offer, could we actually do a bump with specific for traffic, or is there, some for email marketing, so just have different bumps created for all the different
Sure. So Stuart is asking, is it possible to do what they call a dynamic funnel, which would change based on the person and what they bought. So for example, if they bought a bump about something else, it would show a different upsell. And so you can create trees, and I smirk because that's such a Stuart question, right? Stuart's always thinking outside the box. So the answer to that is it's not common, it's difficult, and very few companies would actually have the depth to be able to do that. Learn is a very unique company in that scenario because we have 60 horses that we could actually even consider doing something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, our platform is actually being coded to be pretty lively like that. We're putting in split testing. And so in the grand scheme of things, yes, our platform will be so smart that it will know which bumps do well with which types of offers, and it'll start doing that all on its own. And the AI, that'll happen when we have our artificial intelligence, which is 2020 when we start working on the artificial intelligence, not even this year. So for now, Stuart, let's keep it to this. But I like how I always out the box. I like that. So it's, in an ideal world, yes, that is where funnels are going. Extreme AI will impact funnels in a big way.
There are more, if you want more questions.
Sure. I mean, we still got, we'll go for another 15 minutes and then lock it up.
All right, cool. Well, first, Annette just says thank you. Awesome advice. So she's going to work backwards.
All right, no problem, Annette.
And then just a couple of things. So first, is there any, actually, would you be willing to draw out a couple different funnels? We have someone who is actually interested in maybe seeing how it might work for an app developer, and someone else would like to see the book funnel. So.
Okay. Am I willing to draw out a couple more funnels? Do we have a session about this? I don't. I will draw, okay, here's the deal. Because I know what's coming up this week, I'll save the time for doing it here. We have I'm going to be releasing a series of videos where I outline 7 different funnels that we use in the company. Plus, there's a podcast that you can go listen to if you subscribe to my podcast, The Fighting Entrepreneur. One of the episodes is all about funnels. But more specifically, I have videos and I have really amazing stuff that starts getting mailed out Thursday of this week. I think it's Thursday or so. So I think it's funnel 4. So it'll probably come out sometime early next week. Where I'm just going to draw it. It's like a whole full-blown video explanation. So if it's okay, I'll ask you to wait for that so we don't double up on the same thing and use time to do the same thing. But that is my free book funnel. So I'm going to outline the entire free book funnel in a video for you, and it'll explain the whole thing. App developer, congratulations. You've completely baffled me. I have no freaking clue how to build a funnel for an app developer. Depends, are you selling your development services, or are you building apps and then selling the apps? This is truly something I know nothing about in my life, and I never want to actually just make up an answer. If I don't know something, I'm the first to say I don't know it. So I don't want to misguide you, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to build a funnel for. Now, if you're a developer and selling development services, then same advice I gave to Annette would apply to you. But if you're just selling apps on app platforms, I have no idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not specified. So
Okay, no problem.
How do you decide how much or what to give for free and what to reserve for products?
How do I decide what to give for free or what to reserve for products? It's funny. That's a great question, and I've been testing and toying with a new theory, and it's working. I have come up with this new theory, which is under the whole messaging of serve, don't sell that we've got going on lately in the company. So if you actually notice that if you go to and listen to my podcast video or audio, if you subscribe at my podcast, I'm just joking. But honestly, it is one of the more popular episodes. I don't hold anything back. It's a very long episode where I reveal all of our top 7 funnels. Even better than that, this is the part that blew me away. If you bought Marketing with Anik, there was an upsell to purchase $1 million funnels. In my upsell video, which is about 12 minutes, I actually showed every funnel. I showed it. So it's counterintuitive. Why would I buy if you showed me everything in the sales video itself? Yet it was the highest converting back-end or upsell that we've ever had. It was like 17, no, I forget what it was. At one point it was 17, then it went down a little as traffic got lower quality. That's huge. So what was I holding back? I'm happy to show you the funnel. So this is always, remember, give them the what, but don't give the how. I'll show you the funnel, but if I don't show you the data and I don't show you examples of what I'm talking about, maybe it won't be the full story for you. So I'm happy to show you the boxes, right? But when I say upsell one, or when I say $497 product, or when I say 7-day email series, doesn't your mind immediately go like, I wonder what that looks like? Like, what does this page look like? What is his book sales page? What does he mean a bump? How does a bump look? Even though he's visually explaining it, what does it look like? Well, hey, purchase $1 million funnels, and that's what you get. You know, and along with all my data. Here I'm giving you guys the data, but along with all, how would you love to have all this data, right? So that's what people are buying. And so now the series that we're about to kick off, by the way, if for some reason you're watching this and you had missed $1 million funnels before the price goes up, you'll have one more chance this coming week. So I'm doing a 7-day email series to promote $1 million funnels. And on day 1, I reveal funnel 1. On day 2, I reveal funnel 2. Day 3, I reveal funnel 3. And I'm not just talking about a picture. I'm talking about an intense video of me walking through the psychology of how the funnel works. And I bet you it's going to crush it, because I'm finding more and more that the more you serve up front, people almost want to buy just to be a part of what you're doing. People don't mind spending money. People love spending money. There's no issue with money. People don't buy because they're afraid. So when you put out more in the front and you put out more up front, they're not afraid anymore. Once you remove the fear, they'll buy anything. It has nothing to do with the price or the product even sometimes. So this is why more and more people are getting really into social media and getting really into organic and content marketing. And this is why I say things like copywriting is no longer about the words, but more about the environment you create. Because once you can use that environment to remove the fear, what you say doesn't matter. For example, going back to that example with Todd Brown, where I didn't care what he said, he sent an email, all I worried about was the day and the time that he's releasing, I'm not available. I didn't even know what the price was. And I knew it would be thousands of dollars, but I mean, there's a big difference between $1,000 and $20,000. I didn't ask. I said, can you save me a seat and let me know how to pay? I'll pay now. That way I don't have to worry about being up at 3 a.m. while I'm in Japan. So I don't remember the original question, but kind of.
Is this what you decided to give for free?
Yeah, so give as much as you can for free, to be honest with you. I mean, give as much as you want to. But the more you give, I've never seen a scenario where I gave too much in the front and then it hurt my back end. We have Joe has a question.
Are there any like rule of thumb things that you will never do that aren't like obvious things, like selling the high ticket right off the bat or something?
Are there any obvious rules that I won't do that aren't that obvious? For example, so I get a $1 buyer for a front end load ticket, and I try to upsell them a $3,000 thing right after that. It's just weird. It doesn't work well. It doesn't make any sense. The psychology of it is all messed up. But other than that, there's no really hardcore rules. If I had a lot of hardcore rules, I wouldn't have discovered half the stuff I've discovered over the last few years. So I'm all about testing and playing with stuff. I think more and more, because I've had students that I've told this to, right? Hey, more opportunities to monetize equals good. Then I see what they do with that, and that makes me scared to say it, because I have to go back and lean on it has to make sense. If someone just came in and wants to buy a traffic product, don't hit them up very next on the same funnel with a product about, I don't know, something that's not traffic related at all. Because, I mean, you can and you'll still do better than nothing, but you could do better with a highly related product. So, no, I can't think of any like hardcore rules right off the top of my head. Amanda, you have?
Just the last question I have is any specifics, any advice for
Any advice for network marketers for funnels? Very interesting. The biggest advice I would give to network marketers, because you have little control, right? The transactional stuff happens at the company typically. I did network marketing for a very short window, and I rocked it when we did it. I was climbing up the chain. The biggest advice I would actually give you is typically network marketing companies, the good ones, they got this stuff nailed. That's why they're usually so good. They got the back end nailed. That's how network marketing companies make their money. They got the back end nailed down. I don't know which network marketing company you're a part of, but they probably have high tickets and super tickets, and you can upgrade your membership to the 30K level and blah, blah, blah. That's usually how these companies make their money. So they have this part nailed, and actually that's the big advantage of being in a network marketing company is you have to worry about none of that. But where you get to dominate as a network marketer in a network marketing company is in the front end. So whereas most people are running around doing the same stuff, using the company's cookie cutter opt-in page or cookie cutter funnel or calling their family members and their friends and going out and recruiting and talking to people, forget all that. Create low-ticket products that bring in highly qualified audiences and then turn around and still do a few offers for them that all warm them up for your opportunity but help pay for your ads, and then book them for a free consulting call with you to explore them joining your downline. So same advice as Annette, because Annette had her back end already done. I want you to go the other way, and I want you to focus on your front end and diversify the number of opportunities and the number of ways people are coming to you so that you can qualify them. So you're making money while you're prospecting people to build your back end. That's pretty cool. That's the biggest advice that I give to network marketers.
And another question did come in. It's actually a $1 million funnel student just bought it.
Awesome.
Yes, so Gus, he's wondering actually what's the best funnel for promoting affiliate offers using email marketing.
All right, so someone just bought $1 million funnels. They're asking what's the best funnel to promote affiliate marketing. If all you're doing is being an affiliate, then none of those funnels are actually necessarily, well, the first funnel, funnel 1, the opt-in funnel. Now, the opt-in funnel, I still teach you to have an offer and all of that. So that's up to you. Now, if you want to get into product development and all of that, that could be helpful because it helps you pay for the ads. You can scale your ads quicker. If you could build a bump and an upsell and a downsell, it will pay for your advertising. But if not, then what I would tell you to do is create a great front-end opt-in page and choose either, well, do both. Write at least a 30-day email sequence that positions enough offers and gets people warmed up enough to want to buy your stuff. And then after that, make sure you're broadcasting, because you'll make more money in broadcasting than you ever will with autoresponders. So make sure you're constantly broadcasting out and sending offers or sending content and stories and offers at least 5 days a week. That's the best. So for a affiliate, I would say funnel number 1. The rest of the funnels wouldn't make sense. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. We're going to keep today a little bit short, like I said, so I can get back to the event. I have not chosen the topic for next week yet, but we will be in touch. Amanda, did we ever send the video out to them?
I still have some editing to do. Go on.
So the video that shows you how we planned out, or how really the team planned out, they did a great job. The Amazon launch, the Physical Profits launch, it's going out anytime now. So watch your email, you will get it, watch it, because it will teach you how what we did in session 1 converted into an actionable plan that you'll probably see us actually put into play. Thank you, everybody, and talk to you later.